In a world plagued by reboots, haunted by sequels, dominated by the same old shit, get ready for an original podcast that will gouge out your eyeballs and skull fuck you. Starring Ginger Josh, Adam the Hare, and introducing the immortal Frank. Hold on to your butts. It's the Game Rage Movies TV Podcast.
That's right. We're here with the only podcast you need to listen to for movies and TV stuff. Not the only podcast you need to listen to in general, because we got like 14 other ones that you need to go listen to. But
Heard, chef.
So if you want to listen to our other stuff, you can go to GameRageMagazine.com. You can go to anywhere that podcasts are able to be downloaded from and listen there as well. You can go to @GameRageMagazine on Instagram and TikTok, @GameRageMag on Twitter/X if you want to follow us. Adam's @AllGasNoTrashOfficial. I'm Josh. He's Adam. All right, let's get down to business.
Yeah,
You got the notes?
I do.
This is just for the clarifications. If you didn't bother to read the episode title and you just clicked on it just because you saw it was a new episode from us, which we appreciate. We're doing this is the Bear 7 season 1 7 episodes 7 and 8. The end of season 1 basically.
True.
A lot of shit happens.
Indeed. So feel free to chime in whenever.
Oh, I will be, but yes, continue. Good sir.
Okay, so we start off with the B-rolls of just random shit in Chicago. We actually get a glimpse of the statue that Richie was talking about.
Yeah.
The faceless angel. I think he said it was on the Sears
Tower, yeah.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we're just kind of getting the shots of Chicago itself, public transit, streets. Oddly enough, it kind of gets historical with like the Chicago fire and some of the stuff that happened in Chicago itself in the past years.
Yeah.
God damn it. And aside from the fact that I'm talking about the B-rolls, the first thing I wrote down is fucking Marcus making donuts again. The stupid son of a bitch.
Stupid bastard.
God damn, dude. I will say, I mean, the character is likable. Like seems like a nice enough dude, right?
Yeah.
But the fact is that he's something of a slacker because he gets distracted with his ambitions of being like a pastry chef.
Yeah.
It gets on my fucking nerves, dude. Because this is shit he should be doing on his own separate time. But then again, maybe he doesn't have the resources to do it at home, to have all the equipment and everything to really create the recipes that he wants to. But fuck, dude, do your goddamn job.
He doesn't have the stuff to do it at home, which is why he's been sleeping there. So just fucking do it when you're not working. Just do it in your fucking after the shop closes down. Jesus Christ, you can fiddle fuck with that all night. You don't need to be doing it during the day. See, you got the perfect consistency. It was the fucking yeast. Shut the fuck up and where are my cakes, bitch? Like shit.
That's basically what it boils down to at one point. So then we cut over to Ibrahim reading the review of The Beef, which is the shop that they are part of, and it's getting decent reviews. And it's one of the things highlighted was Sydney's dish that she randomly gave to a customer whom we now are supposed to believe is a food critic. Excuse me. Carmi thinks the critic is something of an idiot because he was talking about the sandwiches and how they've been they're better or they're good or whatever. And he's like, well, the motherfucker didn't even notice that they're not even the same goddamn recipe, like the shit that we were doing before versus what we're doing now. Like, you can't even tell the difference.
Yeah, he's like, what a fucking hack.
Tina's son, they kind of dropped the ball with this. They actually don't. They introduced it and they did nothing with it. They did nothing with it because I think Sid gets pissed off because she's handling all the shit. And then she ends up quitting. Or well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So Tina's got her son who has been suspended because he's being a delinquent and all this shit. And Sid's in charge of getting her son up to speed with his new role, which was not even assigned or not even clear what the fuck he's going to do. Tina just wants him to have a job so he doesn't do stupid shit.
Right. Yeah.
Richie catches up on the review, wants to know how Sid's dish ended up on someone's table. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you undermining us so that you can assume the title of like head chef, or what the fuck is your deal here? And then Sid's like, no, I'm just trying to do shit to get the business to where it needs to be. And both like have valid reasons for being angered by one another. Cause I mean, if somebody came into my kitchen, if I was a chef or if I was a business owner, somebody decided that they were going to come up with like an entirely new menu versus like what actually works and what actually sells, like, yeah, that would kind of piss me off. And then for Sid, I mean, they have the opportunity to really push the envelope of food with this restaurant, like take chances and do things, which has kind of been her motivation, is to be in an environment where she can really test herself creatively. But that's also selfish in motivation for herself. So I don't know.
Well, remember when he talks in that previous episode about how he did the background check on her and called all her fucking references, and they all said that she's impatient, she's fucking impulsive, like she can't fucking. She's got all these ideas and gets caught up in the forest for the trees, basically, kind of deal. Where, yeah, like someone, and see, this is the thing. This is where she is that type of attitude or mentality is good. A good thing that every team like kind of needs, right? They need someone to have these ideas and to think outside the box and to come up with new shit. But that's why she's not good as the number 2 to Carmy. He only put her in that position, at least in my opinion, because she's the most experienced culinary person here in terms of actual culinary experience, not fucking working at the goddamn sandwich shop, right? Like real culinary work. She's the most experienced, and that's why she's the number 2. But she's the most experienced out of these people, but still kind of green and also not, really. That's what I'm looking for here. She like I said, she's the idea guy, right? That's like her that should be her job. Like she should have she should be a department head of like creativity or coming up with new shit. Like she should be overseeing what's his name with the donuts. Like she should be overseeing these new things that are doing. That should be her job, right? Is to develop these new things, not be the executive officer or the number 2 in command, because she can't really do that role. Anyway, sorry.
So Richie's talking to Sid about the review and everything, and they're just bickering at one another and just taking cheap shots and shit. And then Carmy is basically dissolving that situation and telling them that they need to get their shit together because now they have their new system, their new workflow, and also adding online orders. And just as soon as they fucking add this, and I'm not sure if it was Sid that provoked this, but it turns out that they set up pre-orders and their shit just goes off. The little printer machine with the receipts or the online orders just goes off, and they're already fucking behind and they don't have enough resources queued up for everything.
Yeah, and this is an example of why Sydney should not be, because she's the one who came up with this idea to have this mobile app to go bullshit or whatever they're doing. And she should have had no responsibility but making sure this was rolled out well. But being the number 2 and having all this other shit you have to do, look what happened. She fucking forgot to turn off the pre-order option, and now they're fucked.
My favorite part in the midst of this, as they're, figuring everything out, that Carmy's like calling out to every member of the team. He's like, Ibrahim meets or whatever the fuck. Tina, you're on risotto, whatever the fuck it was. I don't think it was risotto, but he's like, he tells Richie, he's like, Richie, go fuck yourself. And then Richie's like 69.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, because they were saying, or no, because he was asking I think he was asking the number of whatever it was that they had ready to go, and then he was like, Richie, go fuck yourself, and he's like 69, chef.
Yeah, 69 all day, chef.
Yeah, so, yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that shit had me cracking up. So then we get to Carmy is making sure that Marcus is on top of the fucking cakes for the 9 billionth time at this point.
Because he literally tells him, like, Marcus, we have like 96 slices of cake that are ordered. Like, let's go. And he's like, oh yeah, man, I'm a little bit behind. He's like, I swear to fucking God, if you're fucking doing donuts again, I'm gonna fuck your day. Your ass.
Yeah. He's like, I'm gonna fuck your day up. So this is the part, I think, where Carmy is ending up exactly like every other culinary chef, being degrading or being malicious to his own team. Because for the up until this point, he's been pretty cooperative and hasn't been putting them down a whole lot. He addresses them as chef, and it works out pretty well, right?
Yeah.
But this is the point where like you see him become a fucking dictator, and he starts lashing out at people and shit. Excuse me. So Richie's like belittling Sid's rave review about her dish and everything and poking fun at her. And Richie's skeptical of Sid. Richie cares about. So then it becomes kind of a little bit of a thing that this menu that they're now proposing is being problematic to their customers, I suppose, or at least to Richie, it seems that way, because they have a lot of OG customers, or that he believes that they're OG customers. And it's like, yeah, these are the people that actually show up. Like, these are the teachers, the bus drivers, and all this shit. And then Sydney points out, like, in a really condescending way, that they're people, they're a business, and they should be making food for whoever's willing to pay for it. And it doesn't really matter who the OGs are, it's whoever's willing to fucking pay for the food. So, kind of a little contrast in opinion there. So then the online orders are going nuts. Sid left the pre-orders on, and now it's become an impossible task for them to catch up, because not everything is being prepared. All the chickens are still, some of them are still in the, all the items that they need to prepare are already fucking getting behind.
And shit, I don't think they even have enough food to even cover all this.
Yeah. I mean, I think Tina says something like, we don't even have enough chickens. Go fucking go.
I don't give a fuck. Go get some.
So then Carmy assumes the reins that Sid was supposed to have, which was doling out orders and shit. And then Sid is put on vegetables. And then Richie comes in and he starts chopping shit up. He's like, she's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, this is my job. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. He's like, well, you already fucked up enough. Like, I'm assuming your role because you can't. And then it just turns into personal attacks. And Sid basically calls Richie a fucking loser, and he's a poor father. Poor excuse for a father. It's fucked up, man. Like,
yeah, it really is.
And then, Richie comes back with his own jabs, and Tina asks if Sydney's okay, and Sid ends up turning into a bitch herself because of all the shit that's going on. That kind of provoked by her own fucking doing at this point, because, I mean, if she didn't do the online orders, the pre-orders, then none of this would have fucking happened. And then probably the funniest thing in the episode is fucking Carmy losing his shit over a Sharpie.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's just going ballistic. So then Carmy tries to like diffuse the whole situation, and Marcus is still working on the goddamn donuts, and Carmy's pissed. Sid stabs Richie.
Well, with the worst level of timing, he comes up to him and says, "Hey, Carmy, I think I figured it out. It was chef, you got to try this. It was doing the yeast instead of this. I should have been doing a cake donut instead of a whatever donut." And then Carmy literally fucking like slaps the shit out of his hand, and he's like, "Get that out of my fucking face! Get the cakes ready, you fuck!" Like, oh, that was so good, man.
That son of a bitch, dude. Oh my god.
And then
Marcus.
he literally just goes, "Oh," he just fucking walks out.
Yeah, he puts his apron down and fucks off. So then Sid stabs Richie in the ass because apparently they weren't calling their
corners
and shit. And Ibrahim is so Richie walks over to the front desk or like the where they service the customers and everything. And then Ibrahim is put on Richie to bandage up his fucking ass.
Yeah.
And then so I think we're getting a little bit of like a wrinkle or a little bit more depth to the Richie character because it's becoming evident he's something of a history buff because he's asking about the factions that were in his home country, which is Somalia.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that he was in like the circumstances of Black Hawk Down, he was kind of a part of. And the faction thing, it was something that they were talking about in French. Like, remember in the beginning, I don't remember what episode it was, but he's like, why are you like brigades? I don't know.
He's like, oh no, he's like brigades always end in mass death. And, then, and like that's like, and what's funny is that little exchange right there that they had. That is my favorite fucking moment in this entire series so far.
Yeah,
when he's sitting there, he's like Ibrahim. I need to be stitched up, and he's like, oh, like it's like he was a medic or something. In fucking, it's in the war, and then he brings his shit out, and he's like, okay, and he's like, yeah, man, just pack it up. He's like, all right, he's like, tell me about the factions again, and so he starts narrating to him like he's fucking reading an audiobook, and he's like, yes, and then during this time, blah blah blah, Muhammad Farah Adid, and when he said that, I was like, is this motherfucker talking about Black Hawk Down? and then Richie says it like he's like, wait a minute. He's like, Mogadishu. He's like, is this the story of Black Hawk Down? And he's like, yeah. He's like, God damn. And then I was like, God damn, this motherfucker was in Black Hawk Down. Hilarious.
Yeah, that was a nice little wrinkle in the lore of Ibrahim.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking cool, man.
So Marcus quits. Sid quits. Sid says Carmy is a genius, but also is an asshole. As she walks out of the beef, Richie asks at the end of the episode if they're open, and then you just see Carmy fucking slapping the shit out of the order printer or whatever, and that's how the episode ends.
Yeah, man, that one was a short episode.
Yeah, it was 20 minutes,
and I was kind of shocked at the chaotic nature of it, and also the quickness by which it was done. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I thought. Interesting choice to make it 20 minutes because I think if it had actually ended up being 30 minutes, that it would be far too long for all the hecticness or even the chaos that at some point it would wear thin at some point or become boring. This was, I think, just the right amount. And maybe it was like an editorial decision to do this because maybe they didn't actually have a plan for episode 7. So it's like, all right, let's see what we can do in 20 minutes. And then, you know what? At the end of the episode, Sid and Marcus fuck off and they're no longer part of the beef. That'll have enough of an impact on the episode itself. And also we can just, we haven't had a full episode where things got extremely out of hand. And this is probably like the biggest episode of them having probably their toughest struggle yet.
Yeah.
And I think it was an interesting choice to only have the episode be 20 minutes. And that was counteracted with episode 8 ended up being 40 minutes. So the 10 extra minutes added on are from the previous, taken away from the previous episode, I suppose. So
yeah.
But what did you think about the episode itself?
Oh, I thought it was good, man. I was very it was like quick snaps. There was just shit happening. Richie gets stabbed. Fucking Marcus gets slapped to the ground. Like fucking Carmy loses his shit on everybody. And we learned that, attention to detail is important, and also that you should have Sharpies available because if he would have had a Sharpie, this may have been avoided altogether.
True. And also I forgot to mention that there was a little book that was revealed to be inside the little container for the Sharpie, which we are to believe is Mike's old journal or some bullshit or I don't remember what the fuck it was, but that
that was Sydney's little fucking book that she was writing notes in at at the beginning.
Okay,
that's what he found.
Yeah.
And that's when he was like, God damn it, I fucked this up.
Right. So should we just move on to episode 8 at this point?
Yeah.
So we open with probably the strangest segment of the series, which is Carmy having his own Emerald-esque type of live cooking show.
Yeah.
And it more or less spells out the entire season in about 5 minutes. So Carmi is making this dish that his brother used to make called the beef brujol or something like that. And Mike used to make it on the weekends. And Carmi sarcastically states that in the midst of making this fucking dish that Mike, well, he talks about like what happened with Mike, which he killed himself over some part of Chicago and never left a letter, never said goodbye, but left a will of putting the beef in Carmi's hands. And the crowd is like laughing or some shit. Like the crowd audience is fucking laughing. Carmi doesn't have shit to cook with, so he's asking for help, much like his real life. And we have all these like weird segments and flashes of his brother and him being a failure. And there's like a printer machine that says you're a fucking loser.
Yeah, that was funny.
Just weird shit happening. But and oddly enough, like to end this really strange, surreal segment, the bear that we've seen in previous episodes or that it's been alluded to, this bear was behind the camera and operating the camera. Mike's voice is heard in this segment, and you hear like little phrases being said, and some of them include, "You don't need this place. You're better than this." And you hear, "Let it rip."
Yeah.
And Carmi goes back to the AA meeting, and Carmi's just kind of sharing his own personal story about his relationship with his brother and like his substance abuse and shit. So Carmi, the thing that brought Carmi and Mike together was their relationship with food. They both appreciated it. They both loved doing it, and it brought them close. And they had plans of opening a restaurant, which is something I don't remember if I don't remember if you saw it in the shop itself, but there was like this painting or drawing that said the bear.
Yeah.
And I think that's, at least from what I understand, is like what they're alluding to. And we basically get a better picture of who Mike was. He's extremely charismatic. A lot of people thought that he was like their best friend or whatever. And Carmi was like, "Man, I thought this guy was my best friend, but he just was friends with fucking everybody." And it was said that he was great at reading a room. Just an overall great guy, but he was also stubborn and kind of an asshole, at least according to Richie. But that's revealed later on. Carmi spells out his flaws: no friends, bad stutter, bad student, no girlfriends. And basically his brother was his best friend and he was popular with everyone. But that all went to shit when he found out that Mike had a problem with substances, like I don't remember what he said.
Painkillers.
Painkillers. Yeah. Carmi realizes he didn't know anything about his brother, cut him from going to the restaurant, so Carmi wasn't allowed at the beef. And as a retaliation to his brother, Carmi went on his path to becoming a chef to prove to his brother that he's fucking better than him and better than the shop itself. Like it was just, it was just a response to not getting that adoration or even approval from his brother in that part of his life that he was struggling. And so he goes on to work at all these world-renowned restaurants and shit, and he had all these accolades, and before he knew it, like his life became so predictable that he knew exactly what he was doing and everything. And in a flash, his brother died, and like that kind of snapped him back into reality, I suppose.
Yeah.
And all he really wanted was his brother's approval, and he didn't fucking get that because he's dead. So it's pointed out that Carmi working on this restaurant or the beef itself is like his way of coping or dealing with his brother's loss, and even possibly trying to fix his own relationships with his family members and stuff. So Marcus hasn't returned to the restaurant. Dinner is being shut down for Cicero to host a bachelor party at the beef. Sid and Marcus are hanging out and eating food together because they both quit their jobs.
Yeah.
And they're both talking about the fallout of quitting, and they called Carmy a bitch. Carmy is still having trouble with the accounting of the restaurant itself. Like, he's not really entirely sure what the fuck is going on, because they were paying like money to this electric company called KBL or some shit, and it roughly amounts to the money that they owe to Cicero, which is like $330,000 or something like that. Tina talks about how they couldn't afford napkins at one point, so she walks in and is like seeing Carmy looking into the books of the restaurant, and she was just mentioning that like things got so bad that they couldn't even afford fucking napkins, and that Carmy thought Mike was not doing well at some point, but Tina was like, it wasn't always like that. Mike used to be invested in this shit, and then something happened where we don't know what the fuck happened, but like he wasn't the same person like towards the end. So then Tina gets the night off. Sid has Marcus's donut, and she says it's exquisite. It's like an excellent fucking donut. And then they're talking about what's going to happen, and Marcus is starting to point out that he might be returning. He's probably going to return back to the shop because they'll fucking hash it out and it won't be a big deal. And Sid says that, or rather Sydney says she's probably just going to end up stumbling from job to job. She can't go back to working at UPS because that's the reason that she's back into food, is because she hates her job at UPS. So she might just be stumbling from kitchen to kitchen for all eternity until she fucking dies, or according to her, until her debt is, or her social credit is at zero. So they both think Carmy's a bitch. Richie hates that the shop is being used for a bachelor party, so we're cutting back to the party itself. And Richie's still having problems with coping with the loss of Mike. He's like saying that he wish he could have done more to save Mike from his substance abuse, and Carmy didn't even know he was an addict. And then people start fighting in the restaurant, and Richie knocks the fuck out of one of the party goers, and this dude's out fucking cold. So then Richie's detained, and there's a possibility that he might get manslaughter if this dude doesn't fucking wake up.
Yeah.
So then he tells the bailiff, or what is the person, the cop that.
Well, he's just at the police station.
Okay,
like
yeah,
so
yeah.
it's just some cop. Like, it's not
Yeah. So he's talking to the cop. He's like, I want my one phone call. And I don't remember exactly if I imagine it was his ex-girlfriend or ex-wife that he was like, hey, you know that thing that was a big deal to you? It was something about her parents. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, you were right or whatever. So he doesn't even call to have somebody bail him out. He just calls to tell his wife. And funny enough, man, that episode, when it was episode 6, when you got those flashes of police lights and that's, I'm like, that motherfucker.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah. So then he just apologizes to his ex of his wrongdoings, and Richie gets aggravated assault, but is a free man, and Carmy bails him out with his the 2-week parachute for the beef itself. And you kind of develop sympathy at this point for Richie, because not a whole lot is going well for him. And he tells Carmy, he's like, dude, you're basically all I have. Like, you're all the family that I have. And nothing is said on Carmy's part, but I think he understands like how much Richie appreciates him. So then the gang are cleaning up this mess that was left behind for the bachelor party. Marcus returns to the shop. They don't really exchange words. They just kind of nod at each other, and then Carmy actually apologizes after the fact. Tina welcomes back Richie, and she drops this name on him. It calls him her little felon or something like that. The shop is cleaned up, and then Neil Fack, the the big dude, the guy that Mr. Fix-It basically is talking to the ball breaker character, and he's asking him like, do you ever get angry? He's like, yeah, but I just keep it inside and then take it out with the kicking everybody's
Kicking
ass.
ass. Yeah. That was a fucking cool scene, man. He's like fucking having a conversation with the fucking game. I was like, this is awesome.
So then Tina is talking to Carmi about what happened with Sid. He's like, if you ever do that shit on me, I'm fucking you up.
Oh yeah.
Delivery guy brings wrong meat because I guess he didn't order pork or some shit like that. Carmi is trying to think of a dish on the spot. And then Carmi almost burns down or almost burns his face on the burners for the stove because he was trying to light a cigarette. And then the bear, like there's bear noises in the midst of that scene. Richie passes letter to Carmi and explains he withheld this letter because he didn't know if he gave it to him too early, like what the fuck, like would they still be in business at this point if like he had given the note? But he's like, all right, fuck it, here, have it. And whatever comes of it, comes of it. So it's a letter that Mike wrote to Carmi. So Carmi goes outside and we cut back to Sid, who's working on new dishes and shit. And Carmi reaches out to Sid and says, your dish doesn't have any acidity. And he apologizes without actually apologizing. And he just tells her that her last check is ready. So Carmi opens the letter and it's just, I think, a small phrase that says, I love you, dude, let it rip. And that's from Mike himself. Carmi starts crying and is mad. And understandably so, because I mean, kind of finding out like we're basically getting all the beans spilled about their relationship and what fucking happened with the shop and all that shit. And understandably so, he's kind of fucking agitated because now he's $300,000 in debt
To basically the mafia.
Yeah. And I think it was an understandable reaction. So on the back of the card that the shit was written on, Carmi sees the Bearzotto family recipe for spaghetti, and Carmi just starts laughing. He's like, what the fuck, dude? What does this have to do with anything? So then they start preparing the spaghetti itself. They're like cutting up onions and all that shit, and everybody in the kitchen's working on making the spaghetti. So then Carmi goes to the shelf or whatever where the cans of tomatoes are being held. Marcus is finally making a goddamn cake. Finally, Richie gets on Fack about the soda machine, and Fack thinks Richie getting stabbed by Sydney was cool. Yeah, there was like a whole thing. He's like,
Dude, I swear to God, the two of them are gonna make out. Like the way Fack looks at him, and the way he goes, yeah, you thought that was tough, huh? I'm a tough boy.
That was weird.
I'm a tough boy. Like they're gonna make out, man. I swear to God.
That was interesting. But anyways, I feel like he was paying lip service because in that conversation, he's like, fix the goddamn soda machine. If you want to cut your teeth here, like you're gonna fix everything and do all this. You can make them jump through hoops and shit. So then Carmi opens the can and it is revealed that there's stashes of money within the tomato sauce itself.
Racks on racks on racks.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, fucking Carmi 3 stacks, dude.
Yeah, serious.
Well, but more than that.
Yeah, fucking.
So then everybody in the crew is just like opening cans and they're finding heaps of fucking rolls of thousands of dollars. We don't even know how much at this point. So then Sid shows up for the last check and is invited back into the like. They're like Richie was the person that said, yeah.
He's like, what the fuck are you doing? Grab a can opener.
Yeah. So then Carmi like walks up there and then he didn't even apologize. He just says like, they start talking about the future plans. They have sandwich portion on this part of the restaurant and like a dine-in portion, and she's like, fucking yup. So then the beef is closed, and then it's noted just under it that the bear is open or is coming soon.
Yeah.
So then the episode ends with like everybody just hanging out and eating this Bearzotto family recipe for spaghetti, and then Carmi has like this delusion, or image of his brother like smiling back at him, as if his brother did him a hookup. Now that he's dead, and basically made Carmy a rich man.
All right, so I don't like where the fuck did he? Okay, I don't know if this will ever be revealed. Maybe not, but why the fuck did he kill himself? If he had all this fucking hidden money in these, first of all, the logistics of putting fucking money in resealing cans, that's a pain in the ass. So I will say, I did feel like something was up with these fucking cans from the get-go because they did spend a lot of time every time. If you go back and look, every time they're in that fucking freezer, those cans are in every single shot. Like there's not a shot where the cans are not seen.
Yeah.
I mean, implying, yes, that there's a shit ton of fucking cans of this. But then it does make you think, like, why the fuck do they have so many cans of fucking like just canned tomatoes or tomato sauce?
Well, it was also mentioned in the episode or in previous episodes that they were ordering the wrong fucking cans, or like Mike didn't order the right cans because they're using some other version.
Yeah,
or
they're
some
not even
other
using those.
So like they're just left on the shelf.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until this episode that the family recipe required these
The
specific
smaller cans that they had never been using.
Yeah.
And so then he's like, oh shit, well, here's all this money. But like, why did he need to kill it? Why the fuck? If he killed himself, as the theory has been going, over the debt that this fucking thing was in, if he had all this fucking squirreled away cash.
I think it was supposed to be money that was owed to Cicero, possibly. So he didn't actually want to pay it back. So he's like, oh, I'll do Carmy the ultimate hookup.
Because they were showing this like this B&L Electric, which was like, he's like, fuck, man, that's another 300 grand we're into fucking who the fuck knows who this is. Like,
I don't know if it's another 300 grand, but maybe,
no, I feel like that was a separate, like the Cicero thing was like another thing that was accounted for.
I feel like it was the medium between him and Cicero, like that it was the way that they could pay out their debts that actually. Because like, how are you gonna move 300 grand without?
Well, yeah, it would have to be through some shell corporation or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I don't know, maybe.
But
well, either way, now they got this money, so
yeah. The only thing I think, because I could barely remember season 2, not for the reason that it wasn't good, but just because
so long ago.
But the only thing I could think of is that this dude was gonna burn down the fucking restaurant and try to like make money that way, or he was never planning to pay back the loan that he got from his uncle. And if he killed himself, like at least Carmy would be hooked up with 300 G's
and then
for whatever for whatever he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And not that his debt would be absolved, because now he's on the hook for all the shit that.
Well, I mean, he knew Cicero was probably trying to buy it from him, like he was doing to Carmy, right? Like he's probably like, "Come on, man, let me just buy it for you. I'll just buy it outright, give you the cash, you fuck off, and be done." Because I mean, I think he said that the fucking thing is worth like a couple $1 million or something like that. So it's like, oh yeah, if he pays you, if he forgives your 300,000, then pays you fucking half. I think what did he offer Carmy for that? Like a fucking $500,000 for it.
Yeah, because I mean, shit, that guy could probably turn into, well, if he sells it to whoever, he's probably going to make a profit anyway. So like everything would be square at that point.
Right. Because then it's like, oh, I'll forgive your 300. I'll roll your 300 into this. I'll give you 5 for the whole thing. You can walk away with $500,000 cash, and then I'll sell it for fucking $2 million and make $1.2 million like on the deal. So crazy. But yeah, man, this was a good fucking ending to the season. And I mean, luckily for us, or for me at least, I gotta wait fucking 18 months to fucking see the next season. I can fucking we're just gonna roll right into it.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I mean, because I've already seen advertisements for season 3.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God damn it. I really just want to bust through the next, because I think season 2 is 10 episodes, if I'm not mistaken. But I honestly just want to, I just want to burn through those real quickly. So just so we can get to, well, maybe we'll take our time, because you were saying something about how Hulu releases on a weekly basis as opposed to just releasing, but I think Shoresy they release all the episodes.
Yeah, so it looks like, according to the Wikipedia thing, that they released the first 5 episodes on, well, I mean, fuck, it says June 26th on all these. Maybe they just released it all at once. I don't know. Well, you know what? Let me just look on Hulu real quick and see if they have season fucking 3 all the way on there. Or
Oh shit! Wait, what's today?
It's June 27th, so it released yesterday. I
Oh
guess,
shit! Yeah, it's already out then. So we'll see what
I
they
think
got
they
up.
dropped it all at once. Let's see. Let's click on Hulu real quick. Let me just look so we can confirm for the peeps out there that want to know.
Yeah, fuck, man.
The Bear. The fuck? Why is it not loading?
All right, hold on. Sorry, Dead Air.
It's fine. It says season 3 now streaming. Oh yeah, they're all on here.
Oh
So
shit!
they dropped them all at once.
Oh my god, this is.
Oh no, wait. Sorry, that's season 2. My bad. Let me just see. Season 3. Well, season 3 says 10 episodes. New.
All 10?
Yep, all 10 new. You can watch them all right now.
God, dude, how am I gonna fight? Well, I'm gonna have to watch up season 2 because I could barely remember what fucking happened.
Well, that's the thing. You're gonna have to watch it anyways. So I mean, fucking yeah, fuck
me, dude. So for 5 weeks we can't watch this shit.
Yeah, for 5 weeks it's gonna be out, and we can't watch it because we're gonna unless you want to start pounding out 4 episodes, we can knock this out in like 2.5 weeks.
No, I think this is the right pace. Like I think
I do too.
Yeah.
I think it's a good pace because it allows us to do other shit as well.
Yeah, I think 2 episodes at a time. Like, yeah.
All right.
Summary of the season itself, and what do you think about the show itself?
I think a lot of shows fuck up in the first season and don't give you enough, or they give you too much.
Yeah.
I feel like this one gave us just the right amount.
Yeah.
Gave us just the right amount. And now, literally, now they're cooking. Like, fucking, they got all this fucking money. Shit. Let's see where. And I'm sure all they're going to do is just get into more problems. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, as the way it goes, that's more money, more problems, man. That's what's going to happen. They think, oh, man, we can fucking do all this and that, but it's just going to cause them more problems, I feel like. But
Yeah, I got to say, like that, I don't get too emotional, but the part with him reading the letter and then seeing that all that money was left behind, and then him seeing his brother at the very end, that shit got to me a little bit.
That was a good one. That was cool. That was a cool maneuver.
I think the show does an excellent job of cycling through. Well, I think primarily a lot of the characters, or rather the characters that were probably the main focus this season, were probably Marcus, Sydney, Richie, and Carmi. And I think it actually opens up more in next season, but I don't think anybody actually feels like a one-off character or that they're a waste. Like, I think everybody gets their time to shine, and I think all their motivations are fucking legitimate. Because even Tina, for somebody that had been working at the beef or whatever for as long as she has, and even her perspective is changing. Like, fuck, I could actually do better than what I was here because I was kind of a mediocre chef, but now with Carmi here, like I could actually level up and get better at this shit. And Marcus, kind of a similar story, but strictly with pastries. Like, everybody has a good reason to be there. It's like they're all trying to solve their problems at this fucking thing. And then for Carmi, he's trying to solve everybody's problems and then also his own shit with his own family. I don't know, man. The show's got a lot of fucking layers, and I think it does an excellent job of just how it presents itself, and excellent storytelling.
Yeah, I agree. This was very well paced too. Overall, I mean, with the exception of this weird like 20-minute episode that was super fucking quick, and then but I mean that still worked. It worked, I guess. So
yeah,
yeah, very good show. I enjoy. I can't wait to watch season 2. So I'm getting ready. I'm so excited to get cracking on that.
Oh my god, dude! I'm might end up like Mike if I don't watch season 3 soon.
You're gonna fucking OD on painkillers.
Well, he shot himself, but yeah. Anyways,
Oh, that's right. Well, whatever.
Anyways, thanks for tuning in for our first encapsulation of season 1, working our way towards season 2. And man, I can't wait to savor the moment. So season 3 is going to be the tits, man.
Oh yeah. I can only imagine how good it's gonna be. What the fuck, cat?
Cat 30.
Cat. It's cat o'clock.
Cat o'clock. I just ran. Who invited you?
Here, you want to sit here? Okay.
Can't wait. She's going to claw your nuts.
No, she's not. Don't say that. You fuck.
I like when Frank was getting his nuts clawed up by this thing. I forgot her name. Callie.
Callie the cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, Frank's an over exaggerator too. So
yeah, that's true. That's a true
He wasn't
story.
really getting them clawed.
Yeah.
She doesn't do that. Anyways. All right. Well, oh, you little kitty. Well, if you want to go, you have anything else? Or
No, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, all right, cool. Well, if you want to go listen to all of our multitudes of other podcasts, you can do it at GameRageMagazine.com. You can follow us at Game Rage Magazine on Instagram and TikTok, and at Game Rage Mag on Twitter/X. You can follow Adam at All Gas No Trash Official, and stay tuned for season 2 of this, and also we will be continuing hopefully this week potentially the Fallout review.
Don't even announce it, just drop it.
Oh, I'm just letting people know that it's coming. Don't worry. We didn't forget about you, Fallout fans, you bastards. Anyways, all right. Well, that'll do it for us. So thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Oh, hey there, buddy. It's me, 1930s announcer guy, here to congratulate you on making it through this episode. As our heroes are getting in their jalopies and riding off into the literal sunset, they wanted me to tell you thanks for listening to their radio broadcast, and should you be so kind as to follow them on some fancy schmancy radio station publication called Instagram and TikTok at Game Range Magazine, and on some other thing called Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. Also, they wanted me to inform you and ask if you could be so kind again as to visit something called the website at www.GameRageMagazine.com. I don't know what that is, buddy, but you should probably go do those things. And, don't forget to tune in next time to the Game Rage Movies and TV radio broadcast.